What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Millennial Mogul podcast. Today, I am joined by my friend, my business partner, Instagram Live, and we're here today with Clayton Williams to say what's up, Clayton.
What's going on, guys?
And today, we wanted to talk to you guys about focus. You know, I know focus is super important. People on Instagram, hopefully you guys know focus is super important. And without focus, you really won't get anywhere because you'll be the procrastinator. You'll be somebody that is addicted to their phone like everyone already is, and you'll never be able to accomplish those things that take a long time. So Clayton here, who I think is one of the people I know that's very focused in life, I decided to bring him in because of that, and I think he's the perfect person to talk to. So Clayton, I'm just going to let you go ahead. I don't know where you want to start with this, but go ahead.
One thing to start is more to, I guess, stick to one social media platform if you can. Don't have like 4 or 5. Don't have 4 or 5. Right. Don't have Snapchat and Facebook and Periscope and Twitter
and Tinder,
and you check all that. Don't have all of that. All right. For me, I didn't have any social media for a while, and it dramatically boosts my focus. However, I think Instagram, it's okay if you just have Instagram, delete everything else, delete Facebook. No one really uses Facebook too much anymore. Yep. At least on our age.
Yep.
But stick to Instagram. Check it once in a while. If you do have a business, if you're looking for more business advice, I check Instagram. But other than that, delete every other social media platform you have to start. I think it's a great start.
Yeah, and I think that's a great start. And to kind of backpack off that point. For different people, it's different distractions. So I know for me, and I think you were the same way, Clayton, a huge distraction for me was Snapchat. And so you guys can't see, he's shaking his head, yes. I actually, I want to say like 2.5 months ago, I deleted Snapchat. And since then I've gotten it back for a week and then deleted it. And now it's gone off. I don't think I'll ever get it again. But it's just one of those things where I know I can't handle it. And so I just got rid of it. Because I can't control myself. And a great example of this, I learned this lesson when I was really young. I like many kids, was addicted to sugar. Like when Halloween would come around, you get the bag of candy, and I'd eat the whole thing that night. I'd feel sick for a week. And I remember my mom used to buy me, 1 pack of cookies that I wanted every single week. Right. And I would go, and my mom was like, "Oh, you get 3 cookies today." And like I would just steal the cookies and eat all of them. Okay. And eventually I got old enough and mature, and I was like, okay, this isn't good for me, number one. I know that. Like, we know mentally, like, it's not good to be distracted by Snapchat, by Instagram, by whatever you do, by Tinder, I don't know. But the point is, it's not good, okay? And everything's good in moderation, but if you know consciously it's distracting you, you need to get rid of it. So step number 1 is to look around and figure out what's distracting you. And then step number 2 is figure out, can I handle this, or do I need to get rid of it? Or your third option is, do I need to have someone else control it, right? So for a while, if we go back to the sugar example, I had my mom like, hey, you know what? You hide the cookies and then you give me 3. But the problem with that is I'm so addicted to cookies where I would literally go around the house when she was gone and mess up the whole house trying to find the cookies, all right? Because I was that addicted. So I couldn't handle it. So I just said, you know what? Don't even buy them anymore. And since then, I just don't eat. I try not to eat any sugar. Once in a while, I'll binge and I'll have a piece of candy. But we don't have any sugar in the house. And if you don't have it, you can't do it. So that's why deleting it works so well. Now, if you're not that addicted to it and you think you can handle it, but you need to be honest with yourself, right. Then you can maybe have someone else control it. Do a little parental controls with your friend. Have your friend, have the password, whatever. But you need to do something because ultimately, if you don't do anything, you're not going to get anything done.
Right. And that's what you want to do on a day-to-day basis is get things done, because if you don't, it's common sense, but common sense is not always common practice.
Right.
If you don't get things done on a regular, you're going to find yourself in the same place you were a year ago. And that's probably the worst thing you could do. You always want to keep moving forward. You always want to progress, and staying focused is one of the things that's going to get you there. Another thing that I try to do is try to make less decisions as a whole.
Really?
Make less decisions.
Okay.
Because making those more and more decisions is gonna, it's gonna ruin your focus. You have a certain amount you wake up with, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think there was a study. I might be butchering it a little bit. There's a study that in the first couple hours of your day, you're most focused.
Okay.
You're most focused.
Makes sense.
And you have a certain amount of that, I guess you can call it brain power, in the beginning of your day.
Yep.
So if you begin your day, scrolling, you're conditioning yourself to not to focus on many things. And the more things you focus on, the less stuff you're able to actually get done.
Right.
So if you do if you're conditioned to scroll maybe 30 posts in the morning, go on Twitter, another 30 posts, after a while you're going to be conditioned to that. So if you cut that out altogether, just stick to one platform if you can handle it, and you start in the morning with, okay, what is this day going to be about? What am I going to get done? What am I about? Get some clarity about the day, which is going to give you power. Mm-hmm. What is this day going to be about? And focus on those things. And try to keep it to just 3 things. If you had the power to just do 3 things per day, you'd feel an immense amount of focus, clarity, and you're going to find yourself a year from now way better off than you were before.
Right.
Making that 5-figure days, 6-figure days, eventually.
Right. And he just brought up something great, and I'm glad you brought this up. I truly believe that in order to be successful as a human being, as a millennial mogul, if that's your goal, you need to be somebody that, number one, understands the importance of your morning routine. Okay, I think your morning routine is so important, and everyone knows it's important, but I think it's underestimated how important I think it is. And the reason why is because it sets the tone for your day. Because like Clayton just said, if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you reach over and you grab your phone, mm-hmm. Number one, you're addicted. Number two, you're on your phone. And everyone in our generation has had those days where, it's a Saturday, you have nothing to do all day. And, Clayton's smiling because he does true. You got nothing to do all day. And you kind of sleep in a little bit. It's like 8:39, maybe not too late. Yeah. But, you roll over, you grab your phone, you go on Instagram or you go on Snapchat or whatever. And then next thing you know, you're on there for 3 hours. And then you look and it's 12 o'clock and you're like, what the heck? There goes my whole day. So right off the bat, you need to have a good morning routine. And I know for me, I'm somebody that preaches waking up early. And that's always kind of been my thing. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you have to wake up early. Obviously, you shouldn't wake up at 11 o'clock. That's a little ridiculous, okay? You need to wake up at a reasonable time. You don't have to wake up at 4, okay? But more importantly than that is when you wake up, it's what you do. So if you wake up and you just mope around the house and do nothing all day, or, I'm so bored, I got to go to class, and that's another thing. Our generation, you go to school, and anyone that's in school knows this, you always see those people that just show up to class in their pajamas. Mm-hmm. I just kind of laugh because it's like, you don't even have the responsibility, the maturity to wake up and get yourself dressed and ready to go for the day. And it just screams to me like lazy, Right. And it's okay once in a while, sure. But ultimately it's like, if you're not ready to wake up, and let's say your morning routine is wake up and then, you got to get ready for school and then you go to school. Okay. Well, that's fine. But wake up early enough to where you can, take your shower or whatever you do, do your hygiene, throw on the correct clothes, right? Go to school. And then the other thing you need to realize about your morning routine too, that's why I preach waking up early, is specifically because, for me, with the stuff I do with real estate, is I'm on the phone all day and I'm working all day. And so unless I go late at night or I go early, I can't go to the gym. It's just really, I can't. We're talking about going to the gym tonight at 8:39. Okay. I can't go other than that. So it's either 8:39 at night or 6 a.m., 5 a.m., right? And I prefer to go in the morning, but I don't really care either way. But the point is that you might be somebody that you're so busy to where you can't go at all unless it's in the morning. And the beautiful thing about going in the morning is no one else is up, so no one else can bug you. You're not getting phone calls at 5 a.m. Okay, no one's calling you. Right. And so that's why I always preach that. But I think when it comes to being successful, you need to, number one, eliminate your distractions, which we talked about earlier. And then number two is you need to set the tone in the morning by not being addicted to Instagram, by not being addicted to social media, period. And then you need to have the correct, routine every morning. And it doesn't have to be working out. It can be anything you want. But as long as it's something productive and, you're getting ready, you're setting the tone for the day. So I don't know what your thoughts are on a morning routine, but I'm curious.
Oh, that's definitely important. It's definitely important to get into a morning routine because without one, you're definitely going to be lost.
Right.
If you go without a plan, if you don't set up your morning like this is what I'm going to do today, right? For those guys that go to school, definitely do your hygiene. If you take your showers at night or you take your showers in the morning, make sure you take a shower.
Yeah.
But
Please take a shower.
Please take a shower, guys.
Public service announcement, guys. Please take a shower.
That's the tip of the day, bro.
Tip of the day.
Take a shower. All right. If you learn nothing else,
Nothing else.
But definitely do your hygiene. In all seriousness, if you don't know where you're going when you wake up, then that's first, it's a problem. Second, I'd urge you to just bust out your notebook and write down 3 things that would dramatically propel you to your dreams. Because you're just waking up, you're dreaming about that. For some people, that's financial freedom. For some people, it's $1 million. For some people, it's everything in between, right? You had the dream, or if you didn't have the dream, whatever, you need to bust out the notebook and write down 3 things, only 3 things.
Only 3.
Just 3 minimum, maybe 5 maximum. Write down those things on what you want to do today that will dramatically propel you forward, and do those things first. If you have school, wake up early, right? If it's all online, or if it's something that you can't do in the morning, then that's all right. That's all right. Do it in your day. And if it's the one at the gym, like, okay, today I'm gonna read 30 minutes. I'm gonna go to the gym, and I'm not going to be on social media.
Yep.
Right? And it's all conditioning. You can't just do it for one day and just think you're good. No, you need to do it for at least 60 days for it to become an actual habit, right? This is how you become less distracted. Get less distracted. The less distracted you are, the less distracted you'll become, right? If you're constantly going on Instagram and you're constantly getting distracted, the more distracted you're actually going to be, and you're not going to be able to focus when you read. You're not going to be able to focus when you go to the gym. You're going to be talking all the time, talking to your friends, and all that bullshit.
It's a snowball effect.
Right. And if you stop that snowball at the peak, then I think you'll be in a very, very good place.
Right. And one more thing before we end this, because I don't want to make the podcast too long. But, a lot of people in our generation, I feel like, don't have a purpose, right? Like, there's nothing that they wake up in the morning for. It's like, like especially college kids. I see this all the time. It just upsets me. Let's wake up, let's go to school, and then let's go to a party. That's your guys' day. And I'm not saying you guys or anyone that's listening in particular, but you know those people, and maybe it is you, and if it is you, you need to ask yourself, what am I doing? But how you figure this stuff out is you really need to sit down and think about the long term. Like, okay, cool, I'm in college now, or I'm in high school, or whatever. I'm 20, and what am I trying to do? Well, where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in 10 years? Okay. And then reverse engineer it. So, okay, cool, 10 years I want to be at here. Okay, well, 5 years I need to be here in order to be on track to be at my 10-year goal, right? And then that means that in a year from now, I need to be here to be on track for my 5-year, for my 5-year, to be on track for my 10-year. And that means every single day for this year, I need to be doing this. Because if you don't have that, if you don't have a purpose for every day, then it's not a distraction, it's just a time filler. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if I didn't have a real estate business, or if I wasn't an entrepreneur, I would just kind of chill with my day. It's like all I had to do all day was go to school and study. Then I'd study and I'd go to school, and then that's like 8 hours, and then I got 24 hours in a day. So then I'm on Instagram the other, 12 or whatever. Okay, then I sleep. So we need to think in long-term increments instead of short-term increments. And then one other thing, and this is the quick tip of the day. Not the showers were a good tip, but this is I think a better tip,
Gotcha.
And this is a real tip.
Gotcha.
For those of you guys that want to wake up early, because I know, especially now in the entrepreneur culture, I feel like waking up early is kind of put on a pedestal. Like, I wake up at 3 o'clock.
Right.
Oh, well, I wake up at 2:30. It's like it becomes a competition. But you don't need to be crazy with it. But first of all, pick a time. So let's say, you want to wake up at 5 a.m. That's your goal. Cool. From there, first of all, most people, I shouldn't say not everyone, most people can't wake up early on their own. Like, you need an alarm clock, right? You don't just wake up at 5. Like, that's just not what happens, okay? So you have an alarm clock, okay? Well, that's great, but you want to know what's even better than an alarm clock? One word: accountability. Mm-hmm. So set your alarm for 5, right? And then 2 ways you can do accountability, and I suggest you do both. Number 1 is give yourself a quote-unquote a punishment if you don't wake up on time. So let's say you wake up at 5:30 instead of 5. Boom, that's I don't know, 100 push-ups you got to do right then. Okay. Even better than that, though, is just set your meetings for super early. So set a meeting for 6 a.m. What are you going to do? You're not going to wake up for the meeting because now you're responsible for someone else. If you're taking classes, that's why I always take early classes, because number one is I don't want to be there all day anyway. Okay. And number two is if I get in there at 6 a.m., that means I have to wake up, right? So boom, I have to wake up at 5. That means I have to be more responsible when I go to bed because I know I have to wake up at 5. If you're not in school, you're working a job, take the earlier shifts. If you're an entrepreneur, it's difficult when you're an entrepreneur because you're not really responsible for anyone else except for yourself. But when you're meeting with people, say, hey, you know what? Let's meet for breakfast tomorrow at 6 a.m. And if the entrepreneur that you're meeting with or whoever you're meeting with has any kind of ego at all, most of the time they're gonna be like, oh yeah, well, you know, they might at first say 7 and, you know, try to, but you're like, nah, come on, 6. You know, we're grinding out here, and they're like, okay, fine. So they'll do it. But the point is once you get that first meeting, now you're accountable. Now you have to wake up. So quick tip of the day for waking up: accountability. But I think that's it from me. I don't know if you have any last comments you want to put in.
Pretty much it.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Check out Clayton's brand new YouTube channel. Do you have is it just Clayton Williams or?
It's Clayton Williams.
Okay.
It's developing right now.
It's in development. Yeah, guys. So thank you very much for listening to the podcast, the Millennial Mogul podcast. This has been your host, Spencer J. Van, and have a wonderful afternoon and get some shit done today.